Hey guys, it's HowToTruckDriver101.com. I'm basically still unshaved, as you can see, and so I'm going to talk about basically 3 tips working in trucking that'll keep you moving towards making more money. So the first one tip I'm going to give you: don't waste your time cussing your dispatcher out. It's a waste of time. At the end of the day, either you can work with the guy or the guy can't do anything for you and you need to get rid of him. You can start talking to his supervisor. You can start talking to different accounts and try to work around the guy if you want to stay with the company. Before you leave a company, you need to analyze all your options, but you can't do that if you're cussing people out, if you're threatening to quit. When you do that, you take all the decisions and all the actions out of your hands and you put them in theirs, and they can easily shut you down. 2, try to work with the company. Work with the guy. Work with the guy who's your enemy. Work with the people around you. You're not in a military uniform. You're not at war. This is real life. And in real life, there are no independent people. Right? In real life, you need to be interdependent. You have to learn to work and try to work with the people around you. That's the only way to win. If you can't work with the people around you, then you need to work with people around you who can help you move on to a better situation. And that would be the third part, to move on to that. The third tip that I'm going to give you is don't be afraid to move on. And not out of anger or frustration or in a situation where you have to take the first job you get. But don't be afraid to move on, and also plan to move on. Every driver, you should not work 15 years for one company. You need to be able to move. I worked way too long for Werner Enterprises. Even the last 2 years, it wasn't profitable. Had I moved on the last 2 years when it wasn't profitable, in 3 months working with the new company I'm with, I've made more money than I did in the last 2 years for Werner. Now, the early years, during the great 3 years I was with them, I made a lot more money. But I've gotten closer to that moving on to another company. Sometimes it's just time to move on. But yelling, screaming, complaining, creating a bad reputation for yourself that might follow you isn't going to do you any good. Just move on. And those tips, if you follow those things and don't get caught up in the idea that, the company needs me. They don't need you. Their turnover is 80% at some places, 100% at others. And hate to tell you this, they replace people every day. That's just reality. You're not special. Sad to say this, man, but one day we're all going to pass away. And some kid will be born and he'll replace you. He'll be driving the truck down the road right after you die in the truck down the road. That's life. So you have to learn to work with people. And if you can't work with people, then use people so you can work around the situation. But the minute you say, fuck you, or you son of a bitch, you close the door. And now you're screwed. So that's the tip for the week. You can check out the blog, HowToTruckDriver101.com. I'll be putting up book reviews and other things up there. I'm going to try to do some interviews recently. Hopefully I'm going to try to get one interview about some things that I want to talk about on the blog and on the YouTube site, obviously. And I thank you guys. And that is HowToTruckDriver101.com. Don't forget to check out the podcast. You can catch me on Facebook, HowToTruckDriverKen. And you can catch me on Twitter, which is HowTruckDriver1. So that you can get all that on the blog, and I'll check you guys later.